Hey guys, I am working on mounting the chute for the Anchor Wizard. I've been fishing out of this P127 for a season, basically for this summer. I got it back in May. Fished in it, made some changes, added some things, and I know I had a previous video, if you want to check that out, about the Anchor Wizard. And what I was using before was a 2.5 pound flute style anchor that I would just reel up to the side and then lay in this tray. And then when I wanted to deploy it, I'd reach back with my left hand, flip it over the side, release the bail on the Anchor Wizard and let it fall. And since then, what I wanted, and I just could not find, was the Anchor Wizard 6-pound radius anchor, which is that bad boy right there. I'm not sure if this is lead, if it's tungsten, what it is, but that is a 6-pound anchor. And it's designed to fit, when it reels up, in the Anchor Wizard's chute like that. So my plan is I wanted to be able to mount this, being able to still access the rod holder here in case I wanted to. I wanted to be able to mount this here so that it falls over the side, because the way that this is designed, as the anchor gets pulled up from the bottom, the line goes through the chute, pulls the chute upward, and then it falls like this and holds like this. The only thing is, with the holes that are in the bracket that this is attached to, the first thing I try to do is see if I can extend this out and let it kind of sit at this angle. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Let it sit at an angle on the side of the boat, but really it works the best when this is hanging straight up and down 90 degrees to the side of the kayak, which takes this hole out of play, because my plan was to try to use this rail and the inside rail that the seat sits on. So here's what I figured out you got to do. Number one, you want to turn your rails around. If the side that allows you to put accessories in here on this rail is towards the front, take all the screws out, flip it around so that the access is towards the back. On your seat rail, you're going to have to take this rail out from under the seat. Eventually what's going to happen is, I'm going to show you how I'm going to basically assemble this, but basically you're going to have to start the screw on this side for the support, and then screw this back down before you secure the rest of this. So I'll go ahead and get the parts that I came up with and kind of explain that aspect of it now. So this is the solution I came up with. Basically, I created it's kind of a riser that's going to sit on here, that's going to raise this up. I went to Menards and I bought PVC board. It's PVC trim, it's white, I painted it black. But basically what this is going to do, the reason I chose PVC board as opposed to plywood or metal or something like that is because this isn't going to corrode or rot or anything like that. So basically this is going to sit on here, and it's going to allow me to mount my Anchor Wizard in a manner that allows this to hang straight down like I designed it. So basically I figured out the dimensions that I needed. I believe it's 9.5 inches from the inside here to the outside where I wanted it to hang, and then I had to figure out how to position the Anchor Wizard chute on here so that it would work. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I figured out how to finagle this, because I have to take this bottom track out of here to get this on, because I can't slide this on and then slide this in with the fasteners that I'm going to use. So I'm going to kind of explain that to you here. So I've got my PVC board. I've got, I think this is an 1.5 inch, 1/4 machine bolt that goes into the track mount. Okay, so that's for this end. I got a 3-inch bolt for this side, had to cut it down 1/4 of an inch, 2 3/4 inches. There's a washer on here that's going to actually go on this, so that it basically what it's going to do. Take this off. This slides on here. I take that back. This goes through here. This slides on there. Then I put a washer on here just to give it a little bit of extra, a little base there, and then get this started well enough. Now what I'm going to need to do, the reason why I took this other track loose, is so I can take this out and get it started. And I need to be able to do that with that washer on top. So I'm going to get that started, and then I'm going to go ahead and set this back down in here. And the other thing I'm going to make sure of when I go to fasten these back, because I've got both rails slid completely to the back, because this will slide back and forth in the slot that Bonafide designed for their rail system. So I just make sure this is all slid to the back, because I've got seat risers that I put on here for my seat. So I'm going to go ahead, fasten this part down, and actually I take that back. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do, I got to get this one situated on the front while this is still loose. So this has to be loose, kind of in place. This has to go, the 1.5-inch machine bolt has to go through the front side of this with the anchor wizard in place. Can't forget to put that on there, because the way that this is designed, this is also holding the anchor wizard to the board that I've designed. I hope this isn't too confusing. So that goes through. And then what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to drop this one into place and slide it forward. Then I can set this one in there. That's the order that I wanted to do it in. Okay, so now that's in there, pushed all the way to the back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to secure my rail in place. You got to kind of play around with this to get. I'm going to get this secured and then come back to you. So I've got this rail secured all the way to the back. The thing I like about the Bonafide is they put nuts in here that are actually molded into the boat when it's rotomolded, so you don't have to drill holes. That was the other thing I was looking to avoid, was drilling holes in the kayak to mount this thing. And it basically allow these rails to come out. If your boat is designed where these are riveted in, you're obviously not going to be able to do this. If you've got a different type of boat and you're looking to do something similar. But basically, it takes one of the screws that comes with the anchor wizard to secure this to the board, because it's just I'm just using two points. I'm using a point back here, and then I'm actually using the hole in the anchor wizard through the board into the track to secure the front one. So basically you just need to do secure that back one, and then basically what it comes down to is I'm just dropping my line through here to use this to line up to make sure that my chute is centered. The other reason I slid these all the way to the back, where my seat sits, I'm about 6'3". Where my seat sits, if the rails on this were slid all the way forward into this notch, I wouldn't have enough track on the back side to hold this securely. So because my seat sits further back, I went ahead and just slid these all the way to the rear when I secured them, because there's a notch in there that allows you to do that. So basically this now is, if I look at my string going across, my rope going across, it doesn't have to be exact, but I want it to be square. Then basically I'm going to tighten this front one slightly, make sure that I've got my washer centered on the back there, And then I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down. And the reason I cut this bolt in the back down to 2 3/4 is because a 3-inch bolt hits the bottom of the track before it tightens that track nut up all the way. There we go, that's about right. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down. Now that is solid right there. So that is the anchor wizard mounted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what I did on my anchor trolley, because the reason I designed this way was so I could use the anchor trolley on the left side of my boat to move my anchor forward and back on the system, kind of like what my other video showed. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this and some of the testing that I'm going to do to see if this is going to work. So in order for this to work, I had to, on the ring on my anchor trolley, basically I attached another piece of line with a ring on the end. I don't know if you could see that or not, with a ring there. And basically what this is going to allow me to do is I'm going to be able to pass this through, attach my anchor, and basically the anchor is deployed with this in free spool, basically allows the line to come off. Now what this allows me to do is it allows me to run my anchor line all the way forward, or bring it all the way to the back. But basically, now with the anchor deployed, I want to try to get this in there. I'm going to go to the other side of the boat here. I want to be able to make sure you're able to see what the process of bringing this anchor rope up. Okay, so now the anchor's coming up, and that ring is not going to allow it. Let's see. Okay. There we go. That's what it's supposed to do. So basically, from this position, the anchor wizard is connected to the anchor trolley. It's on the side of the boat ready, so when I get to a spot I want to drop anchor, I basically loosen my spool over here, move the anchor to wherever I want it to be on the side of the boat, and then when I go to bring it up, all I have to do is reach over here with my right hand, reel it up, and I'm going to have to get that. And that's what it's designed to do. And I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to perfect this, but basically reeling it up, you just have to reel it up quickly. That's what it is. I'm trying to go too gingerly. Basically just reeling it up, letting it hit that, and it pulls that chute up, and now it's in a position where it's being held solid. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to come out of there. But as soon as I release the handle, bang, the anchor deploys. Then I leave this in free spool, move my anchor, and so basically what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to test this out again. Practical purposes, actual situation, see how it works on the water, and figure that part out. So I'll put it back together, and then I'll show you what the boat looks like, reassembled with the seat and everything in there. So this gives a little better picture of why I align things the way that I did. Number one, I want to be able to keep access to the two rod holders that are in here, whether I'm putting a net in there or whatever I'm doing. The anchor here is, it sticks out, let's see here. Sticks out from the side of the side profile of the boat 5 inches. Which is really no different than my paddle on the other side, or I've seen guys with rod stagers, whatever. So one thing, you would have to watch probably, if you're close to branches or close to the bank or whatever, snagging that on something. But I don't think that's a huge issue. I think the usefulness of it, coupled with kind of what it is I'm trying to accomplish, is going to make up for that little bit sticking off the side. But I know there's guys that put, you know, rod stagers and that sort of thing on their boat that stick out further than that. So give this a try. So the seat where it's sitting, because I've got the 2-inch risers on the seat to, you know, elevate my height there a little bit, and those come into play as far as where this gets positioned, where this gets positioned. But basically that drops down, stays deployed. I can move the anchor trolley back and forth the way that I want to do it, and then when I go to reel it back up, bada boom, bada bing, it's up there. So I'm going to attempt to get this thing on the water and do an on the water demonstration to see how that goes. I'm trying to figure out a camera angle that allows you to see what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. So hopefully we'll see you on the water.